Welcome to the next episode of the Dark Web Deacon. Before we begin, be sure to smash that subscribe button, click the bell to turn on notifications. New videos are published every Monday and Thursday, and as always, be sure to like and provide comments. So today we're going to look at the rise of deepfakes and what it really means for identity fraud protection in the future. Convincing deepfakes continue to be a threat in the coming years. The number of deepfake videos found online doubled from 2018 to 2019 and is expected to continue to grow in 2020. For those who don't know, a deepfake superimposes existing video footage or photographs of a face onto a source head and body using advanced neural networks powered often by artificial intelligence, and can make basically fraudulent videos and audio content that seems incredibly real. Identity in the past was established with user IDs and passwords. Then knowledge-based questions were added to the mix to prevent fraud. Then SMS-based two-factor authentication became popular, and it still is fairly popular today, but there definitely has been an increase more in advanced biometric-based authentication that is kind of the next generation and is viewed as kind of the next bulletproof way to prove your identity and prevent fraud. The rise of deepfake technology will undoubtedly become a larger and more prevalent use as a counterattack to biometric identity verification. Sophisticated deepfakes require considerable amounts of data and compute power in order to create them. You need an extensive amount of video and voice recordings of the subjects and a commercially available AI cloud package capable of training a neural network to take in an image of one person's face and output an image of someone else's face that is superimposed with expressions and other pieces of information to make it look as real as possible. The recent deepfake in which Jordan Peele impersonated former President Obama is a great example of this technology in action.
Now, you see, I would never say these things, at least not in a public address, but someone else would. Someone like Jordan Peele. This is a dangerous time. Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet. That's a time when we need to rely on trusted news sources. It may sound basic, but how we move forward in the age of information is going to be the difference between whether we survive or whether we become some kind of fucked up dystopia.
Generally speaking, there is publicly available software such as DeepFakes Labs or OpenFace Swap that can help you create deepfakes on a fairly cheap budget in a matter of days and weeks, depending on how accurate you want the deepfake to be. And like any technology, deepfake technology will continue to get better, faster, and cheaper, and convincing deepfakes are continued to be a real concern in the future because of this. There are different types and levels of deepfakes. Some deepfakes are obviously coarser and lower quality than others, and they can be quickly produced with free apps. More convincing and high-quality deepfakes require significant more effort, skill, money, and time. But practically, how do we see this actually happening as a real world issue or problem that I should really be concerned with as a consumer? Well, I think in the short term, think about Zoom bombing with deepfakes together. So Zoom bombing was a recent phenomenon as part of the uptick in people working from home due to COVID-19, in which people, and the fact that Zoom didn't have proper authentication built into the software, where people would basically enter your Zoom session and say things inappropriate, or all of a sudden they'd be on video dancing around naked or doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And this was affecting businesses, schools, you name it. So imagine that same kind of social engineered attack, but with a deepfake, where it's the CEO of the company, or you think it's the CEO of the company, or the principal of the school entering as a deepfake and saying things that are disturbing, inappropriate. The CEO of the company gets on and says, these employees are let go as of today. I mean, this could be something that could definitely have a social impact. Now, obviously, those things can be reversible, but in terms of the power and the impact, this is how this type of technology can be coupled with other previously unknown ways of doing cyber attacks or identity fraud or basically social engineering and can amplify those results. While some of basic deepfake videos are not perfect, for example, they may not capture the full details of a person's face, and there may be some artifacts around the edges of their face, they are often good enough to dupe most facial recognition systems. So how do humans and computers go about identifying if what they're watching is potentially a deepfake? Well, the human eye can detect deepfakes by closely observing the images for simple imperfections, such as facial discolorations, lighting that isn't quite right, badly synced sound and video, or blurriness where the face meets the neck and hairline. How do computers go about identifying a deepfake? Well, algorithms can detect deepfakes by analyzing the images and revealing small inconsistencies between pixels, coloring, or distortion. It's also possible to use AI to detect deepfakes by training a neural network to spot changes in facial images that often have been artificially altered by software. The most robust systems examine dozens of minuscule details from a selfie video, for example, such as hair and skin texture, micro movements, and reflections in the subject's eyes. By looking at all that data together, that is how computers can basically break down and try to flag if something is a deepfake video. So in practical terms, how do ID and anti-fraud systems get spoofed, potentially by deepfakes? Well, online identity verification methods rely on government-issued photo IDs and some type of corroborating selfie. An important part of the process in terms of validating this type of data is what is known as a liveliness detection system, which ensures the person is physically present. So liveliness detection is used to detect whether the user is in fact a real person. It does this through some very basic forms and techniques that basically look at and to see if the person is blinking, do their eyes move, they often will have them say a few words or have their head nod, and they'll analyze all of these different movements and techniques. Unfortunately, these basic forms of liveliness can be spoofed with a deepfake video. A more sophisticated way to trick the system utilizes a regular photo that can often be animated by software and turned into a lifelike avatar of the fraud victim. To make matters worse, there really is no commercially available package that can automatically detect deepfakes for all applications and usage models, despite efforts from universities and online platforms and tech giants to try to combat the threat. So we know the basic techniques, not only of how humans can potentially detect deepfakes, but also how to incorporate that into how computers can look at digital images of photos and videos to do deepfakes. But there really isn't a commercially available package that is widely accepted as being accurate and useful. Policymakers and tech companies are trying to play a role to stop this. Companies have adjusted their policies to state it will remove media that has been edited or synthesized beyond adjustments to just basic clarity and quality. Bottom line is, the battle with deepfake videos is just getting started. Thanks for watching, and as always, please like, subscribe, and provide comments, and turn on notifications by clicking the bell in order to check out future videos published twice a week.